Dear fellows, we have already uploaded two videos in this regard related to the soil, especially soil texture and importance of texture. Now this is the third in series uh, about structure of the soil. Structure, if we come to the definition is that the soil structure is the arrangement of the primary soil particles. Primary soil particles क्या है? Sand, silt, clay. These three we are considering, and other soil material into discrete aggregates. और दूसरी definition ये हो सकती है, the way particles are arranged or grouped or bounded together forming lumps or aggregates. This is known as structure. So those are individual particles. These are structured. That is, we bind them by virtue of something. So if it is the arrangement of the primary soil particles or separates in a soil or soil sample into secondary groups. This arrangement is secondary grouping. Again, the original primary particles, sand, silt, clay, we mix up them, organic matter or some slimy substances, microbes, and again an aggregation occurs. So these aggregates, they are known as secondary groups. Soil structure reflects how the individual soil particles clump or bind together forming an aggregate particle. Such particles behave as a coarse particles. These aggregated particles or these structured particles, they behave as a coarse particles because each aggregate particle is a combination, a collection of small particles. Soil structure is changeable feature. This feature is changeable. Texture is not changeable. Soil structure is changeable feature that changes with the hoeing, plowing, or other agronomic manipulation or practices. Peats. Peats are structural units. They have several shapes with definite boundaries. Limits are there. They show well-defined planes of weakness between the aggregates. Peats are made of primary particles that are bounded together by organic matter, slimy substances, algal releases, microbes, clay, hydrous oxides, iron, or aluminium. The secondary groups are called peats. Peats are more stable in dry soil conditions. Clods are aggregates that are broken into pieces of different shape by tillage, plowing, or hoeing of a dry clay soil. A broken piece of clod is called as a fragment, which is less permanent. Soil profile may be dominated by a single type of structure, but more often several types may be there. So soils are a mixture of structures. Structures results due to flocculation. Flocculation means aggregation of individual particles into smaller clumps or clusters. Granulation, it is the concentration of the aggregate into masses. So these two phenomena are there, flocculation or granulation. When the structure is lost, this is then termed as deflocculation, deflocculated soil. Flocculation granulations are influenced by alternate wetting and drying of soil, alternate freezing and thawing, physical effects of the roots, nature of decaying organic matter, microbial activity, adsorbed cations, or type of parent material. They are effect flocculation or granulation. Soil may or may not have structure. It is not necessary that every soil should have some specific structure. Therefore, soil may be structureless soil. Structureless soil are of two types: grained soil, massive or puddled soils, and then structured soil, in which spherical structural, platy, prismatic, blocky structures, these are the common Structureless soils, as this figure indicates, रेत, hora, रेत या sugar, structure nishta. Single grains are there. No visible peats are there. It, it is broken individual particles. Do not stick together. Sugar is non-sticky. Loose consistency. They are loose. Maybe sandy or clay soil, mostly wind blown. Wind blown. They are carried by the wind from one place to another place. Massive, massive puddle. Again, mass would be there. No visible structure is there. They are hard to break because of the massiveness. They cannot be broken. You can see the massive situation here. Make very large clods. When wet and with clay, then cultivation, trampling, grazing compact the pore space, thereby making soil more dense. So massive soils, when they are in a wet conditions, so when trampling occurs, grazing occurs, or some car motor is passing over it, pressure is weight, they become more compact and dense. That is, the soil density increases. In dry state, they change to clods. This condition is called as puddling or massiveness. Structured soil. They show some kind of a structure. As I said, spherical, platy, prismatic, blocky structure. Spherical, yes, spheroidal. Beads are rounded, spherical in shape. They are confined to surface layers with high organic matter, especially in grasslands. So more common, they can occur anywhere, but grasslands काफ़ी prominent होते हैं. Such soils are good, have good porosity, aeration, water holding capacity, water movement. They are easy to plow. Again, they have two types, granular or crumb shaped. Granular, आप देखें, दे शो ग्रेनुलेशन ग्रेन, दोनों में आप देख लें, फिगर में नज़र आ रहे हैं. Beads are rounded shape, usually less than 0.5 cm in diameter, relatively non-porous, loosely placed aggregates form granular structure, grain-like, दानेदार मिट्टी होगी. Crumb, crumbs are relatively more porous than granular. They are porous. They are generally smaller, more loosely held. They are loosely held. So soft, loose soil. They are nearly of spherical shape with many irregular surfaces or shapes. Plate-like or platy, as the name indicates, they are like plates, one plate above the other. Soil aggregates are arranged in relatively thin horizontal plates, leaflets, or lens-like structure, making platy structure. They generally occur in virgin soil as surface layer. Soils may also be present in lower layers. Generally, more commonly, they are present in the surface layers, but they can be present below the surface layer, which have been leached. Leaching causes plate formation from the parent material, especially those which are laid by the water or ice or compaction of animals or machinery. Water causes layering. When water moves, it deposits soil. Another time, another water comes, it deposits, and so one upon the other, layers are formed, making a platy structure. The permeability of what is due to the overlapping. Permeability is due to the overlapping because overlapped layers, the water can move in those layers. Third is a prism-like or prismatic structure. They are vertically oriented aggregates or pillars varying in height. They have different heights. They may be few centimeter long to a diameter of 15 or more in various soils. So varying height. Uh, these vertical oriented aggregate pillars, they may have a varying height. They are usually present in the subsurface layer B horizon. एरिड और सेमी एरिड रीजन्स में ज़्यादा होते हैं. दे मे आल्सो अकर पुअरली ड्रेन्ड सॉइल्स में, ह्यूमिड रीजन्स में, पेशावर, नॉर्दर्न पंजाब, Vertical cracks results due to freezing and thawing. When freezing occurs, winter में, or melting occurs, then cracks appear. Wetting or drying, जब wet हो जाते हैं फिर dry होते हैं तो cracking आते हैं. Downward movement of the water roots is there. Prismatic aggregate structure of two types. Columnar, ये column like है. The top prism is rounded or very dense. Penetration of root is very difficult because of high density of the material. Such structures are present in soil, alkali and sodic soils, saline area. Prismatic, you can see two different prismatic soils. Tops are flats, plain or level and clear cut. Blocky, this is another situation where structure is block like. You can see both these two different situation. Blocks are there. They are common in the subsoil, so they normally are not found in the surface there, but may also be present in grasslands with clay contents. Aggregates are reduced to irregular, six-faced blocks with three more or less equal dimensions. They usually have a dia of 1 to 5 cm, formed largely as a result of swelling and shrinking of clay material. This you can say, see, the clay material has cracked, peeling off occurs. Surface dried up, bonds up shows peeling or cracking. This is very specific indication of these soil. Blocky structures has two subtypes: angular blocks, subangular blocks. So two types are there. These structural can be used for classification of the soils also. They are classified into different structural grades. Structural grades refer to the durability of beads and clarity with which they can be seen. ग्रेडिंग इस वजह से है जी कि एक ड्यूरेबल है ये स्ट्रक्चर और वो जो पीड्स उसमें क्लैरिटी है. कैन यू सी देम इजीली डिस्टिंग्विश और यू कैन नॉट. सो स्ट्रक्चरलेस साइल है. स्ट्रक्चरलेस है, रेत वाले साइल है. डू नॉट हैव पीड्स इन अनडिस्टर्ब कंडीशन. वीक स्ट्रक्चर्स हैव इनडिस्टिंक्ट पीड्स. द स्ट्रक्चर इज डिस्ट्रॉयड वन डिस्टर्ब. सो ये रेत के जो साइल होते हैं वो स्ट्रक्चरलेस कहलाते हैं. मॉडरेट स्ट्रक्चर के साइल, स्ट्रक्चर विथ फेयरली वेल फॉर्म पीड्स इन अनडिस्टर्ब कंडीशन, और जब डिस्टर्ब हो जाते हैं दे चेंज टू स्मॉल मिक्सचर ऑफ ब्रोकन एंड अनब्रोकन पीड्स. डिस्टर्ब से मतलब अगर उसमें ट्रैक्टर चल जाए, खेत चल जाए, पानी आ जाए, सैलाब आ जाए तो ख़राब हो जाते हैं. स्ट्रॉन्ग स्ट्रक्चर साइल, नाम से ज़ाहिर है कि they have a very distinct bounded planes of weakness. When soil structure disturbed, they change into entire pits with little broken. So they do not break into smaller pieces. Bulk में they are there. Importance of soil structure क्या है ये, कि इसकी भी कोई importance है कि नहीं है. Soil structure influence करता है growth by affecting following soil feature: total porosity, total pore space, bulk density, bacterial activity और nitrification या biogeochemical cycling, soil water उसकी movement, soil aeration air और उसकी movement, soil temperature और heat transfer, irrigation और drainage को इफेक्ट करते हैं, water conservation को करते हैं, erosion control को करते हैं. These are, हम आपको पहली दो का लिंक इसमें दे देंगे, तो कुछ चीज़ें ये कुछ चीज़ें उसमें से आप मिला लें. You would have a very good attempt to understand or to solve the situation. Thank you very much for listening.